Hey everybody, it's Kurt. I'm back in the Kurt Locker. Today we are talking about the Squat Harness V3. Now I was contacted by an Instagram account probably over a year ago at this point. It was ripped by Rosenblatt and he wanted to know if I wanted to look at his squat harness. I was somewhat familiar with the Ripped by Rosenblatt brand. I had seen other reviewers do videos on their stuff, and at first I actually thought it wasn't for me. However, I looked at what he was offering and I figured it couldn't hurt. And now, after a ton of time reviewing this V3, I'm finally going to sit down and tell you guys what I think about this product. Now, I am flipping the script because we're going to talk about price right up front. And for a squat harness, it comes in at $177. Now, that's if you want the black or the army green or the camouflage version. Also note that there's an affiliate link down below, and there's also an Amazon affiliate link down below because Ripped by Rosenblatt offers his products on Amazon.com for the exact same price as his website. Using those links helps support the channel, and yeah, that's enough on the affiliate stuff. Now, if you want the hot pink one, you can get that for $88. Hot pink would be pretty cool, and the other advantage to hot pink in the gym, just hear me out, is you won't lose your squat harness. You're gonna know exactly where it's at when you look around. But I wanna cover the squat harness, I wanna cover all of the parts and pieces and kind of demystify this a little bit. So first off, this is the squat harness. It is made up of a couple different pieces. It's got several buckles, and I will admit that when it first showed up, I opened up the box, I pulled this out, and I was immediately kind of like, this is a lot of buckles and a lot of things to figure out. But once you really start to use it, that's when it becomes a little bit more clear on what everything is. For instance, it has these buckles that are underneath these handles that, for instance, I never have used these to do anything with. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't use them to do anything. It just hasn't been something that I've ever needed to use. What I think they're specifically for is if you ever wanted to, I guess, take these loops off, that would be the access point to get those off. But other than that, they really don't have much use. But let's start at the top and work our way down. So we do have this, it's about a 2-inch nice quality webbing, and right underneath that webbing, right at the top, you have like a 3mm thick, it's a neoprene type of material. It's actually held up to abuse really well. I don't necessarily treat equipment badly in my gym, but I do use the living heck out of it, and I don't go easy on it. It stood up really nicely. It doesn't have any wear, tear marks. There's no real abrasion marks, and that neoprene has a nice kind of fabric coating that goes all the way around. Now, the pad itself is held to the harness using these 2 Velcro straps, and you can take those off. And so if you don't want to use them, that's fine. You don't have to use them. But what you'll find on the underside of this is that the webbing here also has this kind of pleathery type of material underneath it. What that's going to do is going to make it just a little bit more comfortable. Specifically, it's going to make it a little bit more grippy in case you don't want to use the pads, or even when you are using the pads, it grips against the pads so that they don't shift back and forth. And I can tell you from using them that I've never had an issue with the pads shifting back and forth on me. They've always just kind of stayed exactly where they should go. However, that material, that webbing on the backside and kind of that pleather grippy material on the inside, which has a single stitch on both sides, runs the entire harness all the way down and up to basically where it connects back into that first buckle that we talked about in the review. That's underneath the handle. So again, working our way from top to bottom, underneath that we have a handle on each side. The handle on the right side has a little branding item there, the squat harness. It's not squat harness, it's not a squat harness, it's the squat harness, and you can plainly see that there. And right above that, you can see that they're using standardized box stitching, which for something like this is exactly what you need in order to basically have something that doesn't fall apart. Additionally, at all of the different junction points, so this is right at your back, right here, it is a box and circle stitch to give you plenty of strength there. And then on the front side, where the pleather material is attached to the bottom, as well as this sternum buckle, or I'm sorry, this lower buckle, sternum buckle. Where the sternum buckle is attached, that's also box stitched. And again, down here, we actually have a zigzag stitch where it connects in through the bottom with a box going around it. Again, it just is very, very overbuilt, and I have tried to break this thing and had no success. Now that's likely due to my inability to squat over 750 pounds, which is what this squat harness is rated for. At the very bottom, we have these disconnectable, I'm not sure if that's a word, but we're gonna use it. These items here that can be disconnected. And what this is this is what attaches the actual harness to whatever it is that you're carrying. Each one of these, which it has two, one per side, comes with kind of like a tie-down hook that you would find on a cargo strap, as well as just an eyelet. This one will release whatever load you're on, so if you ever need to do something where you need to be able to get out of it quickly, like for instance, I do reverse sled drags, more on that later. I tend to use the hooks because I can just unhook it, turn the sled around, rehook back in, and we're good to go. And then you have the eyelet adapter, which is useful for basically everything else, with an exception for if you want to use it with like a trap bar or a barbell. I seem to have lost those little cup things, so while I go look for those, I want you to listen to me talk about what it's like to pull a sled. And here's the other part about the ripped by Rosenblatt squat harness, is it's got these handles so that as you're doing rear sled drags, you can just easily hook in using these hooks. The whole harness just kind of pulls against your back comfortably, and it's so easy to get in that I can do it with one hand on the camera and one hand talking to you guys. And again, the way I do this is I put the hooks in so that they're equal and opposite, one going each way, and then just slowly back up, get some tension on the sled, and there we have it. So now, as you're backing up, you can really focus because you just focus on that leg drive. There's no discomfort on your shoulders. It's kind of pulling underneath your armpits and sharing it with your shoulders a little bit. I can lean further back and it puts more pressure on my shoulders, or I can stand more upright and it puts more pressure here. Plus, all of this is adjustable. You can have it hook up to wherever you want. The versatility of this thing, plus the padding, plus how it spreads the load, just feels great. So like I said, the comfortability is there. It works really well for reverse sled drags. And this initial attachment, if you're gonna be using it with like a cable machine or sled drags, or for me like belt squats, this is an absolutely amazing little attachment. It's easy to use and it works really well. Now right here, these are the attachments that I should have had back when I had my shoulder surgery, because what these do is allow you to actually grip on to standard size barbells. Now, if you're using an axle or something like that, like the Foo Bar, for instance, from Mike Bartow's Power Center, is too thick to fit in here. However, you can get on most deadlift style handles, specifically to trap bars work really well, and you can put that in there and you can do lifts where you don't necessarily have to use your arms. I do have to say that I regret not knowing that this was a product that existed in 2019, because I definitely would have bought one in order to maintain my lower body strength and movements without having to buy like a J squat or something. Now the inside diameter, so the largest bar that it could accommodate, is about 36 millimeters, which means that when you go to throw it on a bar, basically all the way up to about 1.25 inches is going to be about where that caps out. It's actually positioned in such a way as well where it won't actually trap the bar, which is really ideal as well, because you wouldn't want to do a set of lifts and then have this not release at the end of the set. So really awesome that it comes with both sets of attachments. So when it comes to everything, I gotta say that it's really comfortable, and my only downside that I have with this is that it looks really confusing when you first get it, because you pull it out of the box and it just doesn't look simple, because there's straps and things laying all over the place. But I gotta say that after you get into it, you just very quickly learn how to put it on, and it just goes on like a backpack would. You get it adjusted. Now for different body types, there's plenty of adjustment that's in this. So for instance, this sternum strap for me fits really well there. And then the chest strap kind of fits tight until I do that first set. And then the whole harness kind of pulls into the correct alignment, and I'm good to go. I really like it for doing belt squat type movements where I would normally use a belt. I'll just use the squat harness instead. I also like how it comes together. So if I'm doing a squat, I will tend to flip these back and up out of the way. And then I'll clip into like my Kratos flywheel machine. And this is positioned in such a way where it isn't rubbing on my thighs, ultimately better than most belts that are out there, which tend to rub on your thighs and kind of grind on the bits and pieces that we don't want grinded on, at least while we're in the gym. I also really like that it has the handles up here because the handles are comfortable to grab, especially if you're getting towards a more max set. It's not that you're getting any more stabilization on it, but it's like that mental little band-aid of like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad, I just need something to hang on to. So that's the Squat Harness V3. Right now you can get it for $177.76. Use my affiliate code and I'm pretty sure it probably knocks a little bit of money off of that price for you. I hope this review has helped you decide whether or not the Squat Harness V3 is right for you. There is also a Squat Harness V4. The biggest difference that I could tell just from the Wave Tops searching that I've done is that the Squat Harness V4 has wider webbing, which is going to accommodate larger body types and ultimately more weight to move. But that's been it for this video. Appreciate you guys that watch every single week, and I'll see you next time.